Hello everyone, and welcome to Babylon Leather's official channel. Today, we'll be crafting a customizable panel square tote bag. Inventory the materials. The self-adhesive version of the bag does not include white cotton cloth. This is the applique tutorial for the heat-activated adhesive version. Get the applique materials. There are two leather pieces, one side is adhesive, the other is leather. There are two interlining pieces, one side is fabric, the other is adhesive. If there is a light green protective film on the adhesive side, peel it off before applying. Pre-shrink the exterior fabric first. Lay white cotton fabric on the ironing board and iron with steam 3 times. Set the iron to cotton mode with power around 2000 watts. Iron 3 more times without steam, each press no more than 3 seconds. The pre-shrunk exterior fabric will shrink noticeably. Wait for the exterior fabric to cool completely. Get the interlining materials. Check the desired pattern position on the exterior fabric. The side closer to the handle hole is the bag opening. The farther side is the bag bottom. Leave about 1 centimeter of extra fabric at the bottom for folding. Lay the exterior fabric with the back side up. Place the interlining adhesive side down for application. Hold the material and iron with white cotton on top. First, fix the positions of the exterior fabric and the fabric adhesion material. Once the position is fixed, check the exterior fabric for wrinkles or shifting. Once the position is confirmed correct, iron the exterior fabric firmly. Thick fabric requires more ironing time, about 15 to 30 minutes. After ironing, wait for the exterior fabric to cool completely, then check if it adheres firmly. While the exterior cools, apply the other interlining material. Once confirmed correct, apply double-sided tape along the bottom edge. Trim the exterior fabric along the double-sided tape edge. Peel off the double-sided tape and fold back along the tape width. Treat the other piece the same way. The two leather pieces will be attached after sewing the handles. Applique is completed. This is the applique tutorial for the self-adhesive version. Get the fabric adhesion material. Two leather pieces, one side is adhesive, the other is fabric. Two interlining pieces, one side is fabric, the other is adhesive. Get the interlining material. Get the exterior fabric and confirm your desired pattern. The side of the applique closer to the handle hole is the bag opening, the farther side is the bag bottom. Reserve about 1 centimeter of extra exterior fabric at the bottom for folding. Once confirmed, place the exterior fabric with the back side up. Peel off the protective film from the interlining material, adhesive side down for application. Once confirmed correct, smooth the fabric from the center outward. Apply double-sided tape along the bottom edge. Trim the exterior fabric along the edge of the double-sided tape. Peel off the double-sided tape and fold the fabric back along the width of the tape. Check the finished effect. Sew the other piece of exterior fabric in the same way. The bag body material can only be attached after the exterior fabric is sewn. Applique is completed. Get the side piece. Measure the thread to be 5 times the length of the sewn part, then thread the needles. Now I will show you how to thread the needles. First, take 2 needles and set the remaining needles aside for later use. Thread the needles. Begin threading the needle by passing the thread through the needle eye. Then, pass the needle tip through the middle of the thread. Tighten, then, pass the needle tip through the middle of the thread dotted, and that completes the threading of the needle. Thread the other needle using the same method. The side with a cutout is the bottom. Distinguish the front and back by the holes. Large and round holes are the front, small and sharp holes are the back. Place the front side up. Start stitching. Insert the needle from the bottom to the top at the first hole. Pass the second needle through the adjacent hole. Pull both threads to ensure they remain the same length. Then pass the first needle through the second hole. Be careful not to snag the thread. Sew with the 2 needles going through each other. This is called the saddle stitch. Sew normally with the saddle stitch. Do not snag the thread or skip any holes. Pull the thread tight after each stitch. Keep the thread direction consistent and pull vertically to avoid damaging the leather. After sewing all holes, backstitch 1 stitch to reinforce. Then pull all threads to the back. Leave a 3 mm thread tail, cut it, and use a lighter to burn the end little by little. Be careful not to blacken the thread end or burn the leather. Now demonstrate how to finish the thread with a lighter. Check the sewing result. Sew the other side piece using the same method. Check the sewing result. Get the ear tab and D-ring. The spun lace fabric side is the inner side. Insert the D-ring and fold in half, inner sides together. Measure the thread to be 2 times the length of the sewn part, then thread the needles. Start sewing from any hole from the bottom to the top with the saddle stitch. Secure the thread at the back after sewing. Do not skip any stitching holes. Always pull the thread vertically, otherwise, the leather will be damaged. Keep these points in mind for every stitching step, and no further reminders will be given. If the needle gets stuck while pulling it out, wiggle it left and right a few times when it's halfway through the material before pulling it out, otherwise the needle may break. Sew the other tab in the same way. Check the finished stitching effect. Get the handle and rubber tube. Place the rubber tube centered between the 2 central holes without exceeding the holes. The central hole is larger than surrounding holes. First, insert the rubber tube in place. Use clips to secure easier sewing. Measure the thread to be 4 times the length of the sewn part, then thread the needles. Find the central holes on both materials. Central holes are much larger than other holes. Start sewing from the central hole with the saddle stitch. Finish stitching at the marked hole, then sew 2 stitches backward for reinforcement. Then thread both needles to the same side to secure the thread. Sew the other handle using the same method. Check the sewing result. Get the bag body with the inner side facing up. Measure the thread to be 3 times the length of the sewn part, then thread the needles. Handle oil edge out, inner side up, aligned with the bag body. Start sewing from a previously sewn hole with the saddle stitch. Make one thread about 10 centimeters longer than the other. Sew to the central hole and add the bag body. Sew a single stitch along the row of holes at the central hole. After sewing back to connect the previous stitches, sew the needle back one hole. Thread forward through the gap between the materials. After sewing all holes, backstitch one stitch to reinforce. Then pull all threads to the inner side to secure the thread. Sew the other handle in the same direction. Sew the other bag body's handle the same way. Ensure the handle oil edge is oriented correctly. Check the sewing result. Get these materials. Get the finished exterior fabric applique. If not available, sew normally without it. Front sides up, aligned with the bag body holes. Arrange the long strip as shown in the video. Measure the thread to be 4 times the length of the sewn part, then thread the needles. Do not sew the exterior fabric together here, but the stitching method remains the same. Place the binding strip with the pointed end facing outward and the notch facing inward, sandwiching it between both sides of the bag body. Start sewing. Begin from the bottom to the top through the first hole. Take a spare needle and cut a short length of thread. Align it with the stitching holes first, then fix the hole positions like this for easier sewing. Then continue sewing. Sew to this hole, then stitch forward with a single needle. Then backstitch to connect. After sewing, insert another long strip of material in between. After clamping well, thread the needle through this hole. Sew upward with the longer needle using single stitches. After sewing, backstitch one stitch for reinforcement, then tuck the thread inside. Measure the thread to be 4 times the length of the sewn part, then thread the needles. Start stitching from the first hole, inserting the needle from the bottom to the top, then sew normally with the saddle stitch, following the same method as before. Sew the last long strip using the same method. Just use a single stitch for the last hole. Backstitch one stitch for reinforcement, then hide the thread inside. Check the finished sewing result. Sew the other bag body in the same way. Make sure the fabric is right side up while sewing. Check the sewing result. Place the bottom over the bag body. Measure the thread to be 4 times the length of the sewn part, then thread the needles. Both bag body and bottom front sides up. Start sewing from the bottom to the top through the bottom first. Pass the second needle through the bag body. Then sew normally with the saddle stitch. The last few stitches can be a bit tricky to sew. Be careful not to prick your fingers. Take your time and enjoy the fun of sewing. After sewing the last hole, backstitch one stitch to reinforce. Then pull all threads to the inner side to secure the thread. Sew the other bag body the same way. Make sure the bottom piece covers the bag body. Check the sewing result. Measure the thread to be 4 times the length of the sewn part, then thread the needles. Place the bag body right side up. When sewing to the center hole, attach the patch and sew them together. The center hole is the 24th hole. Start sewing from the bottom to the top through this hole. Pass the second needle through the adjacent hole on the other strip. Then sew normally with the saddle stitch. Sew to the 24th hole, attach the magnetic button patch. Keep the magnetic snap facing up and place it against the inside of the bag body. Then sew normally with the saddle stitch. After sewing the last hole, sew one more stitch forward. Then backstitch twice to reinforce. Then pull all threads to the inner side to secure the thread. Sew the other bag mouth the same way. Check the sewing result. Fit the side piece against the inside of the bag body, right side facing outward, then sew it upright. Measure the thread to be 4 times the length of the sewn part, then thread the needles. Start sewing from the bottom to the top through the first hole on the side. Then pass through the gap in the bag body stitches. Pass the second needle through the adjacent hole. Pull both threads to ensure they remain the same length. Insert the first needle into the second hole. After sewing, take one of the needles, insert it into this hole, and pass it out through the gap between the materials. Then pass the needle from the inside out back through the original hole to form a loop. Then sew normally with the saddle stitch. No need to stitch at the corner gap, skip it and go straight to the next hole. Sew up to the corner, then stand the bag body upright to continue stitching. Align the center hole in the middle of the side panel with the center hole of the bottom piece. You may adjust the edge of the material by hand while sewing to keep it neat and aligned. Continue sewing. After sewing all holes, start finishing the thread. Sew one stitch backward first for reinforcement. Then pass all threads to the side to finish off. Sew the other side in the same way. Check the finished sewing effect. Get the bottom studs and screwdriver. Insert screws from inside out. Place studs outside, then tighten for screws. Ensure tightness to prevent loosening. The bag is finished. Appreciate your choice of Babylon leather. Thank you for choosing us. Wishing you the acquisition of valuable skills during your time here. If you've enjoyed our video, don't forget to like, comment, and share. For more information about this DIY leather kit, check out the link in the bio. Thanks for watching.